Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Sab if we've never met before. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about my houseplants, mostly in passive hydroponics. So if you're interested in that kind of content, definitely hit subscribe down below. For this video, I'm sure you can already tell by the title, but we'll be talking about 5 of the easiest and 5 of the most difficult houseplants to transition into passive hydroponics. Now, I will be giving specific examples of these houseplants, but you can expect that each houseplant's genus will also count in my examples. And what I mean by that is if I talk about one Hoya as an easy transition, then you can expect other Hoyas to be the same, more or less. Without further ado, let's just start with the Hoya that's sitting right in front of me. This is a Hoya Dekie. Here, I'll try to show you some close-ups. So you will see that it has the classic veination and splashiness that Hoyas are loved for. This is such a gorgeous plant. I would go so far as to say that it's my favorite Hoya at the moment. And I'm trying to show you the root right now. I'm sorry if you can hear that over the audio, but it's really windy here at the moment. But yeah, Hoya Dekie and any Hoya, in my experience, has been really easy to transition into LECA. I have all of my Hoyas in LECA at the moment. So there's a Crimson Queen, a Pubic Calyx Flash, Lacinosa, Sigillaris, Obovata, Calistophylla, Mathil. They're all doing really, really well, and they'll all grow really, really fast in LECA. So if you're a beginner and you're looking to transition something into passive hydroponics, I would definitely recommend trying out Hoyas. Sorry about that, so I've just closed the window, so hopefully we don't hear that noise anymore. But anyway, the next plant is my watermelon peperomia. Here she is, she's beautiful. And I don't know about you, but I've had a hard time keeping these guys alive in soil. I just can't ever seem to get the watering right, or I think I'm getting the watering right, and it dies out of nowhere. But in LECA, these guys just thrive. So I recently transitioned this, I think maybe 2 months ago, and it's already given me this leaf, although it is a bit wonky. Probably got crushed in the transition, but it has 4 new growth points. So that's really exciting. It's growing so fast and it seems to love LECA. And I don't have a lot of peperomias. I think I have a peperomia obtusifolia variegata, but it's also in LECA and it also really loves it. So I highly recommend transitioning your peperomias into LECA. Next we have my beautiful Syngonium podophyllum albo variegata. I think I got that right, but I'll put it up on the screen if I didn't. So you can see these gorgeous marbly leaves that these guys are famous for, and this is its newest leaf actually. Let's see if I can show you that. It just unfurled yesterday, so it's not even done unfurling yet. And it's just beautiful. This is actually just half of the original because I gave the other half to one of my friends and he was very happy. But again, I've just adjusted this perhaps a week ago, and you can see the root is already going down the bottom. So I'll have to adjust it soon. But yes, Syngoniums absolutely love LECA. Again, I kind of have trouble keeping these guys happy in soil, but in LECA they're just shooting new growth out. Like you can see, I don't think that'll come off on camera, but this newest leaf already has new growth coming out of it. So I highly recommend transitioning Syngoniums into LECA. They love it. They grow so fast. They grow like a weed. And you'll just have a full pot of these in no time. Next, for the easiest, we have, oh, it's behind me, Alocasias. Now, Alocasias, this is a more recent Alocasia I got actually. It's called an Alocasia Bambino Arrow. This is its newest leaf. It's so cute, and look at the underside. Look at the underside of that leaf. It's beautiful, and it's just a really wonderful plant. Yep. So Alocasias really love LECA. I have all of them in LECA. I have this one in a self-watering pot. I'm kind of liking this setup more and more these days. This is the wick is actually just an old shirt that I cut up, which is one of the things I love about LECA. You can use pretty much whatever you have around your house. But yeah, Alocasias thrive in LECA. I have my Bambino Arrow, my Green Shield, my Black Velvet. They're all in LECA and they all love it. And yeah, another plant I definitely recommend transitioning to LECA if you have an Alocasia around your home. I lost count. I think we are at 4. So this is the last of the easy category. And this is my heartleaf philodendron. And it's just, I love this plant so much right now. Just look at all this new growth. And I don't know if it will come off on camera, but there's a red line around the new growth. I think it's a bit sun stressed. Can they even get sun stressed? But this particular one is under my grow light, so it gets a lot of light every day, and it's just loving it. This was only a few leaves a few months ago, and now it's about to trail, I think. I hope. But yes, philodendrons actually in general are so easy to transition. They grow roots so quickly, and I think I can show you. Yep, look at that. That has grown down into the reservoir. Those white fuzzy roots is a sign that it's really happy to be in LECA. So I definitely recommend philodendron, this heart leaf philodendron, or any philodendron that you might have around your home. So that's it for the easy category. Now we'll move on to the more difficult houseplants, or houseplants I wouldn't recommend transitioning to LECA for beginners. Let's start with perhaps an obvious one. It's a Calathea. Now here is a Calathea rufibarba. If you've never heard of it, it's not a very showy Calathea. I'm sorry, it's so dusty. It's not a very showy Calathea, but the magic is on the undersides of the leaves. This is the fuzziest plant I own. I was so shocked to touch the underside of this leaf and feel that fuzziness, and that's why I love it. And I think it's the only Calathea I still own, because these guys are diva queens both in soil and in LECA. And you may be wondering, but Sab, you have this Calathea in LECA and she looks fine, and she's even throwing out a new pup right there. Yes, but I've lumped Calatheas into this category because it's kind of hit or miss with these guys. It's let me give you an example. I tried to transition my Calathea zebrina, which I cannot show you because he's gone now. He's not with us anymore. At the same time as this plant. So I transitioned it in the exact same way, in the exact same spot, yet this one survived and that one didn't. So I just think that even though Calatheas are known to love moisture, they're also really finicky. From what I've read online, a lot of them also just experience the same thing. Like, it's kind of 50-50 with Calatheas. So if you have a cheap Calathea or a Calathea you're not loving in soil, you might, be able to transition it to LECA, but I can't guarantee success because they are quite finicky. But if you do successfully transition them into LECA, you can see the roots here. They're really easy to take care of because they're Calatheas, and they just love LECA if you're able to transition them without killing them. So that's it for Calatheas. And next is Anthurium crystallinum. Now, where do I start with this guy? Anthuriums in general are very finicky plants, at least in my experience. Or I think there's just kind of a scary factor when it comes to them because of the high price point, right? So this is my Anthurium crystallinum. It's still a small baby. Now I'm including this in the most difficult to transition because this has done nothing for me in the past 4 months that I've had it in LECA. It's not dying or anything, but it's also not growing. And it only recently put out a small root, like a really tiny LECA root, like a water root. And that was when I was actually about to give it away or swap it for something else. So I think it heard me and started growing roots for me. But yeah, it's just Anthuriums are really scary to transition because they're expensive. And also because I don't really know what it is, like why some of them do so well and others don't. Like I have my big Anthurium crystallinum up here, and it's shooting out new growth at the moment, and it loves LECA. It's growing water roots like crazy. On the other hand, this guy, like I said, has not done anything. But, you know, being me, I also transitioned my Anthurium clarinervium, which is a very pricey plant, to LECA recently, and it's still transitioning, so I don't have any updates for you on that at the moment. I'll give you an update if you want to hear about that and how I transitioned it. Just leave a comment down below. But yes, Anthurium's definitely not for beginners, both in soil and if you're thinking of transitioning it to passive hydroponics. It does require some special treatment to be able to transition it successfully. Alright, so next we have Skindapses. And here is my very sad looking Skindapses pictus exotica. It's okay. It's not doing very well. Oh, there's actually water roots to show you guys. Alright, maybe it's not doing that bad. No, but I am including Skindapses in this category because for some reason, these guys will do so well in LECA for a few weeks or a few months, and out of nowhere, it will get root rot and die. That is what happened to my Skindapses Trevor Moonlight. I'm gonna try to insert a photo of what that looked like. Just one day, the leaves went soft and there was root rot. Then it died. That's the same thing that happened to my first Skindapses pictus exotica. But here I am, trying it out again to see if I can crack the equation. Maybe I'm missing something. But yes, you'd think they'd be easy, right? Because they're Skindapses, they don't need much from you. But they don't like LECA so much in my experience. Except for this one, which might be liking LECA because I have it under grow lights for most of the day. So maybe that's the secret. But I'll update you on that. Again, definitely not a plant I recommend transitioning if you're a beginner. Are we at 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, so the fourth plant I have to show you will be pretty obvious. I think it's this Boob Cactus, and here she is. She's adorable. She's really cute, but it's difficult to transition cacti and succulents into LECA. You can see I'm kind of trying to balance her right now because she is not root bound yet, or she hasn't rooted very well in the LECA. And oh, yep, there you go. Might as well show you. But here is her root system, and she has been in this substrate for about, I would say, 2 months already. But you can see she started putting out some water roots, but it's really slow because they're cacti, I guess. They don't want to be in water all the time, which is why I care for them differently when they're in LECA. If you're interested in that, again, I can put up a care video for cacti and succulents in LECA. But it's not that they're difficult to transition per se, it's just it takes a while. It takes a really long time to transition them. I mean, the average time I would say for most houseplants to transition them successfully is about 1 to 2 months. For these guys, it takes like 3 to 5 months depending on, you know, the kind of cactus or succulent you're transitioning. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you really just want to experiment, or if you're like me and you don't want soil in your house. Right. So we're finally on the 5th most difficult houseplant to transition, and I would say it is the most difficult houseplant to transition into LECA. And I think a lot of you will be surprised because it is my neon pothos. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the humble pothos is an absolute devil when you transition it into LECA. It hates it. It hates the process. It hates being in water and LECA. But the good news is, once you're able to transition this, it will love you for it. So what do I mean by that? Let me just show you these gorgeous roots, and there's new growth there that I have to fix for sure. But pothos are really difficult to transition into LECA. I'm not sure why, but if you transition pothos from soil into LECA, they will die in my experience. That happened to my golden pothos. The trick here is you have to root them first in water. So even though they have soil roots, you clean them and you put them in a jar of water and wait for them to develop some kind of some sort of fuzzy water roots before you transition them into LECA. And that is the only way I have successfully transitioned pothos. But yeah, they do love LECA once you transfer them properly. It's better to transfer cuttings, in my opinion, rather than a full mature plant. Right now I have this and my Marble Queen pothos, of course, and my Manjula in LECA, and they all love it now that I've learned how to do it properly. But yeah, if you want to transition this, I recommend it, but you have to root it in water first before putting it in LECA, or else they might, you know, kick the bucket. And I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe for future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!